Hi there, I'm Jonathan and welcome to my channel, Jonathan's Diamond Painting and Stuff. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're coming back to me, welcome back. I'm so glad to have you here today. So, for my long-time subscribers and my regulars and everyone one of you who follow this channel, who watch my regular videos, you'll all know that I've just been on holiday to Walt Disney World Resort in Florida, and this is my first video since getting back. Oh, and I'm just so happy and grateful and thankful and calm for having been on this holiday. It's the first 2-week holiday I've had since before COVID, and the first proper holiday, you know, off the continent, you know, so not outside of Europe and the UK. And oh god, I had an amazing time. There'll be a lot of content to come. I don't exactly know how much I'm going to cover today, or what I'm going to cover. I will do a video where I like go through everything that I've bought. You know, all my t-shirts and my clothes, and I've got some hoodies and everything. I have bought quite a lot. Well, my husband's paid for a lot of it. He's so amazing, you know, but we have not bought any major clothing for quite some time, you know, particularly no Disney clothing, because we've not been to the parks, and we tend to buy all our Disney clothing from the theme parks when we go, because I just don't think the Disney branded merchandise in this country is anything compared to what the park designs are. And as you can't really buy the park stuff outside of the UK easily, I tend to splurge a bit while we're there. But yeah, so let's just see where we're gonna go with this video. Right, so first of all, I'll probably go through what I was talking about before I went, which is that I took this lovely Tuscany edition with me. It's a paint gem kit. I had a recommendation from a couple of my subscribers saying I should take some diamond painting with me, and thank you so much to those people, because this enabled me to stay mindful, to stay calm. And to be honest, I actually preferred doing this to going swimming, to be honest, because I just, it just kept my mind calm. And, you know, when the downtime in the rooms, which I loved, you know, was lovely to do these kits. Downtime enabled me to do this was amazing. It was really anxiety relieving, de-stressing, and so I'm so glad I had these with me. I'm just going to do a little inset video where I just show you the ones I did right now. So as you can see, I've got 6 of them done. I'm just looking at them over on the other side of the room where they are right now, that's why I'm looking over. But yeah, they were absolutely stunning kits. So, I mean, I've done one which is a little kind of nighttime landscape with some houses and a little bit of lavender and a road. Then there's a poppy field. Then there's probably my favourite one, which is a waterfall with a few houses and a bridge and with some foliage behind it. Stunning piece. Then there's the sunflowers with a field behind with a house. Then there's a whole bunch of houses, very like almost Mediterranean in style, but I mean it's quite a warm country, Italy. And then you've got a mountainous landscape with like another house and a tower and a river flowing out with some floral pieces on the banks. And I just can't hand it enough to Paint Gem how stunning a job they've done with the rendering on this kit, and to get all that detail in on the on these small pieces, you know, because they're not that big at all, really. I was just like gonna get a tape measure. Ugh. Yeah, because they're all about, so they are 8. Just a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 8 centimeters by 12 centimeters. So they're not huge at all. So very tiny pieces. And to get that level of detail into that small sizes is just incredible. And I will say you have to stand back a little bit. And where I'm looking at it now, I can see all the detail perfectly. So they will look really good framed in a hallway or somewhere, you know, where you're looking at them at a bit of a distance, you know, but incredible. And I am going to try and frame them vertically all underneath each other. I'm just trying to work out whether to take it to a framers or whether to try somehow doing it myself, but that'll be a future video. So I've got two little little paintings left, and I thought rather than crack back on with my magical potions for the Spring the Longathon event, which I will, I'm going to finish these two, and then this kit is done then, because I just feel I don't want these sat in my stash for months on end while I decide when I want to do it. So I thought I'm just going to get on and do it. Okay, so I just got my lovely Art Dot Tic Tac style set, and these have been brilliant for getting colours in and out. I just got my jungle themed Tramat, which is my drill tray mat. Links for this will all be below. My eBay store is now open again, so if you want to get yourself a Tramat of my current designs that are available, then head on over there now. I'm using a tray by Admore Zest and this lovely little trash container by Bijou Bliss. Love these little things, and this is the trash so far. And as I've done like 6 out of 8 of them, and that is the only trash there is, I think that is pretty damn incredible. Yeah, so the drill quality is really good, and yeah, just general overall quality is amazing. So what I do when I'm preparing these to work on is I just peel this straight off. Main reason is this is the traditional clear film, which has one side smooth and the other side is like coarser. So if you take it all off and then try and put it back on again, you may, as I absolutely done, get it the wrong way round. And if you do that, I'll just do it in a tiny corner just to show you, that is like welds itself to it. It will come off, but I can just take this off and put a sheet of relief paper over it. Yeah, like so. And then that's my canvas prepared, and then I'm working on this A5 light board, which is brilliant, and I just love the fact that I'm not getting a lot of extra lighting around the edge, and which can create a glare in my eyes, you know, and strain my eyes trying to look at it. And what I do is I just washi tape the top and the bottom. Now washi tape, actually, doing this has been amazing. It's actually lasted all 6 paintings I did abroad. I just peeled it off, stuck it onto the side of a table, and then just put it back on again onto the next one, and it stayed sticky. So it's weird because it's like this low sort of tack, isn't it, but strong at the same time. It doesn't have a lot of strength, because I tried wrapping presents with washi tape, because I thought the eco properties is amazing, because, you know, they're all paper based, so you can recycle it, so you don't have to worry about taking the tape off your wrapping paper when you putting your wrapping paper into recycling after Christmas. And as long as you've got recyclable wrapping paper, that's really eco. So I just thought, yeah, I like it for that, but it's just a strength, and I did manage it, but it's a bit of a, you know, it's quite difficult, you know, and sometimes your presents can just ping all open. But yeah, so right, so I'm doing number 7 now. I've actually done them all in order because actually I loved all of these almost as much as each other. I couldn't like decide which one to do first, so I just thought I'll just do them all in order. Okay, so yeah, But yeah, so I'm just going to do this little kit while I'm talking to you. So that is how I prepare it. I've just I've reviewed this light board in a previous video. I'll try and link it now, and I'm just gonna get one of my pens, a favourite pen, with a 1 placer on one end and a 6 placer on the other. Okay, I've got a little bit of putty in there, but sometimes I use the pink wax as well for these little kits. I do a little bit of multi-placing, but not a lot. And I'm just getting my tweezers out. There we go. Okay, I just got the sponge on there just to help make sure it doesn't come back out too much and just strains the fingers less. Okay. Right, and I do a little bit of single placing in these and a little bit multi-placing. You know, I like both, but yeah, let's see how we go anyway. So starting out with number 3, and I might zoom you in a little bit actually. So over the next few videos, I'm just going to go over my experience abroad, how everything went, and just any tips really for how we got on. I will say me and my husband don't have any kids, and my mum and dad really wanted to experience the best holiday they could. So while trying to keep it as cost effective for us, it is a more expensive holiday than if you stayed in a villa off property, because we stayed on property at Universal to begin with for 4 nights, and then at Disney for 10 nights. Yeah, so just so you know that, I'll be giving tips, but I'm not going to give any advice on like with whether it's a better holiday where the way we did it, or the better holiday, because they all you can do the theme parks in any number of ways. It's just what really best works for you. Like I want to take my nephew Alex in a few years' time, and so hopefully I think when he's between 6 and 8 will be a good age, you know, basically when he's able to ride on most of the things and enjoy it and remember it, more importantly. So hopefully we'll be going as a big family. That'll be my sister, her husband, Alex's mum and dad, and me and Alan, and hopefully my mum and dad again, and so we'll need a big villa at that point, you know, so it's just not worth it doing it on property. You can do it on property, but it's very expensive, you know, so you just have to, you know, so I'll be giving little tips here and there, but like I said, you know, you can do Disney in a numerous amounts of ways, you know, and have the enjoyment. Okay, so I guess we started on the Saturday. As you know, I was off sick for a week before I went because I just had a huge anxiety attack. I was really low, really struggling, and I needed that week, and it did help because obviously I was also anxious, you know, getting ready and everything, and I don't think I'd ever had it where I've gone away and I've actually been had that extra time given to me, and I did not go off sick to prepare for my holiday, let me make that clear. It was really horrible that I had to, but I'm so glad I did, and I'm actually really ready to get back again. You know, it's just to show, you know, that mental health isn't straightforward. You know, when you think you've got it sorted and got it sussed and everything's going swimmingly, which is what it was a couple of weeks before that, it just can creep up on you, you know, and things you didn't realise were there can just boil over, you know, so yeah, I just needed that time, unfortunately. So yeah, so we started on the Saturday. My mum and dad came on the Friday and stayed over, and I I have a cat sitter, Jane. She's actually a really good friend of mine, and she knows the boys really well, and gets on really well with them, and she's just brilliant. And she house sits with me for a week, or sorry, for the whole time, for the 2 weeks, and or whenever we're going away, we do have catteries. Sometimes, she went out of the country to visit her family in Mallorca. Um, yeah, so she's not always around, so we do use catteries, and we don't like them to get used to always being at home. So yeah, so she came the night before as well, because so we could get off in the morning. We had a later flight than we usually have. I think it didn't take off till about, was it 3 or 4 in the afternoon, I think. So we are very fortunate as to live in proximity to our station. Where I live on my estate, it's a 7-minute walk to a bridge which goes from the estate over to the station, and yeah, we can just hop straight on a train, so we can just walk to the station, and then we're straight on a train. We connected onto the Elizabeth line, and I might interject pictures here and there, as just to give you a visual picture. All people in the images, I've got permission to share the images. I got to travel on the Elizabeth line for the very first time. I was very disappointed that there wasn't a hologram of Queen Elizabeth inviting you onto the train. Although Alan said that'd be a bit morbid. I said, well, not if I'd done it when she was alive, but I just thought to preserve her memory. But yes, no, but it was cool to ride that for the first time. Brilliant line. It's got Wi-Fi. Well, it's got I think they put routers in, so you've got like 4 or 5G on that, so you can get internet seamlessly, which is very nice for when you're travelling, and particularly for commuters. Unfortunately, the rest of the underground is so old; it's been a massive battle to get internet put into it. But obviously the Elizabeth line was being built from scratch, so they were able to do that. Okay, so so we got onto the Elizabeth line from on the underground from King's Cross, and then was it King's Cross or was it further? No, I think it might have been. I can't remember. Anyway, we got on the Elizabeth line, which goes all the way to London Heathrow Airport, and to be honest, it was fairly plain sailing. Haha. Pardon the pun. The flight was delayed a little bit. And when we were in the air, there was no issues there at all. It was a pretty okay flight. We flew with Virgin Atlantic, so it was direct, which me and Alan don't always do, but we wanted it to be as stress-free as possible for my parents, because my mum is a nervous flyer. So it was okay. It was really when we got to the other end that we started to get issues. So we got there, and we've arrived in Orlando MCO airport, and there was an absolute wave of people. This was a late flight, so we got in about, I'm trying to think, probably at least between 7 and 8 in the evening local time. And then we were waiting for at least an hour in the immigration queue. It was just totally disorganised. There was about 3 or 4 immigration officers on, despite it being absolutely loads of people, and it was just frustrating, and how long it was taking and everything. But eventually we got through. We went to get the car, and Alan picked a nice Nissan Altima, which is like, he liked it because it's a Japanese car, because Alan feels that American cars don't have very much suspension. So that's Alan's opinion though, not mine. I would have had a Dodge Charger because that would be my favourite car to drive when I came to America, but yeah, it's not always available. But yeah, but anyway, so yeah, we picked up the car, and then I did actually do my only bit of driving for the whole holiday, because I said I want to drive from the airport, just get used to driving and everything, because I expected I'd be driving a lot. And it wasn't the easiest drive. It was at night, and Alan was, talking to me, making sure, I was doing everything right and everything. And it was a little bit bumpy, but we were all very tired, but it was okay. And then we arrived at the Universal resort, which was called Surfside. And yeah, we were so tired, and we'd eaten on the flight and everything. We didn't really have anything to eat, and then we just all went to bed. But because it was such a late arrival, we didn't get to the hotel till near 11. So yeah, there wasn't really much else we could do. I remember in the past, when arriving in Disney, having a lot more time. But yeah, it is what it is, we did decide we're going to try and get an earlier flight next time. In retrospect, we could have possibly got a hotel room at the airport at Heathrow, and then just gone down the night before, but obviously that's a little bit of an extra expense, so we didn't want to do. But I think with retrospect, that might be what we do next time. So yeah, so we slept. Well, we would have, but there was issues to begin with. So we both booked hotel rooms there. This place was a bit cheaper than like the really luxury Universal hotels, and to save a bit of money on the holiday, we decided to not go into a really super expensive resort for the beginning part of the holiday. So yeah, so we decided to do this cheaper hotel, and we were supposed to both just have a I think it's just a standard double king bed or whatever, and everything. But when we arrived, the room looked okay, but then we discovered the toilet wasn't working properly, wouldn't flush properly. So we rang, to try and get it all sorted, and we found out that the hotel was fully booked, so there was no room they could move us to. So we got a guy to come repair it, and he came. He said it needed a part and he'd need to come back, so he went away. It was like half an hour. We'd been on the go for over 20 hours. And so Alan called them again and tried to escalate it and everything. Realised there's no room we could move us to. So we ended up having to stay without a working toilet. I think I ended up going to one of the restrooms downstairs, just before we went to bed. And yeah, so that was not ideal. They did fix it the next day. They credited us our parking for free because we're paying like $120 dollars on parking or something, I think. So yeah, just a second. Yeah, €120 on parking. So so we've got that for free. Oh no, actually it wasn't quite that expensive, but I think, yeah, because they gave us some meal vouchers for breakfast the next day as well, and that was for all of us, for all four of us. So that was brilliant, and yeah, so I think we saved over $100 off the holiday, for that annoying thing, and we'd rather have had the working toilet, but it was quite a good saving, and they dealt with it properly. Yeah, it was just sad that it had to happen. I mean, the room was also hadn't been cleaned properly. There was hairs on the floor and the shower, and it wasn't ever clean. We didn't get full housekeeping service because we weren't staying very long. Yeah, so it wasn't ideal, and I certainly wouldn't go to this resort again. I mean, my choice was to go to Disney for the whole 2 weeks, but Alan just felt that we should try and go to try and go to Universal to get some of the Universal perks to be closer by. And he wanted to do that at the end of the holiday. I wanted to do it at the beginning because I just felt that anything after Disney would feel less magical, so we should do Universal first. And I think I was right. It was unfortunate because my mum and dad didn't get the amazing experience you get at Disney right at the start. So that was their introduction to it all. But they were still amazed and still really happy. I think the first day in Universal, we did the main Universal park. We'd booked at a restaurant called Lombard's Fish Restaurant in the Universal park. We hadn't eaten there before. Food there was absolutely fantastic. I think we all had like a lobster sandwich or something, which was very, very nice. And yeah, I had key lime pie, which I'd refused to share with Alan, but it was absolutely massive, so I think I ended up sharing it anyway. And I do love key lime pie, particularly Floridian key lime pie, because it's made with the limes from the Florida Keys, which are grown nowhere else in the world. People have tried, but failed to actually grow them elsewhere. So the limes that we grow in other parts of the world are not the same and don't have the same flavour. So. But yeah, so that was amazing. And what else? Yeah, so Mum and Dad were very, very quickly acclimatised to the amazing service you get in America. I just can't say enough how we just do not have the level of service in this country to what we get in America. It's just phenomenal, how amazing that is, and it's in the culture and everything, and I wish it was like that over here. And it's just the whole they'll do anything possible to make your experience better, and it just really shows that you have a really positive experience, and particularly in Florida, which is a tourist state, so everything is really about making sure you have a good time. It is absolutely amazing, but yeah, just to the fact that they don't let your drink run out, and yeah, everything. They're always so happy, so very, very happy all the time, and just desperate to make sure you're getting everything you need. Everything is set up perfectly. So it's just incredible. Oh, sorry, this one is not attaching properly. Okay, yeah. So that was that restaurant. So the first day, my mum and dad haven't really done many theme parks in their life. They don't like really, really thrilling things, but so we had to gauge what we could take them on. I mean, my dad does have a heart condition and high blood pressure, but which is managed on medication. So obviously we wanted to be careful, but there are warnings in America on everything. If you listen to the warnings, you won't go on anything. I mean, even it was ridiculous. Even the ET ride, which was actually the very first ride we went on, um, that was had all the warnings about high blood pressure and everything. And for goodness sake, it's just riding a bloody bike. It really is. It's just like nothing. It's not even that. It's like you're sat on a bike-like thing. And there's absolutely nothing strenuous about it at all. But my mum, oh my god, she loved it. She was like crying as she said that while she was riding it. She was so emotional. She just had such a good experience. I don't think my mum and dad have had that level of experience in a theme park because they never really liked to do them when we were growing up. But the theme parks in our country are just nothing compared to the American ones. The theming in Orlando is absolutely outstanding. The Harry Potter areas. We went to like the Diagon Alley area in the Universal Park, which is the second Harry Potter Wizarding World of Harry Potter area to be built in Orlando. They were just bowled over by all the theming and just the experience. We did do the Simpsons ride second, but that was a little bit much for my mum. Simpsons ride is like a simulator style ride, so it's you're in like what looks like a roller coaster car, and it moves around, like this sort of motion, but you're not really going anywhere. It's mainly everything that's done is in the on the screen, but there is a bit of jerkiness to the motion, to get away, so to suspend your disbelief. They blow fans at you to simulate you going fast and everything, and it is an amazing effect, and it's an incredible ride, and we love the Simpsons ride. I am gutted I've never been able to do the Back to the Future ride because it was that Simpsons had replaced it by the time I first came to the theme parks, but Simpsons is an amazing ride. I love that so much, and if you love Sideshow Bob in the Simpsons, you will love this ride. But yeah, so that's that ride. And then trying to think what else we did that day. I did Rip Rocket at some point, which is a very, very intense coaster. It involves you like going pretty much perpendicular up a massive column, and then you just go down and you go around corkscrews, around loops and everything, while listening to a piece of music of your choice. Now, I was a bit disappointed that Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, was not available as a song anymore. I don't know why, but there used to be quite a lot of music on there to pick from, and there was not a lot on there anymore. So basically, when you go on the ride, you can just pick a song to play while you're doing the ride. And I played ABBA Waterloo, because that was the only one there that was interesting to me. So it was still quite a good thing to ride an intense coaster to. But, it's... But yeah, I was disappointed to be denied by Gloria Gaynor. I don't know whether the rights had fallen through or whether they didn't feel it was appropriate to have I Will Survive on a roller coaster. I don't know. But yeah, so I was a bit disappointed at that. But the ride was great, so... Right, and I think... at some point that day, I think I did the Mummy ride. Now, this is like... It has some like tie-ins with the Mummy films, with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. But and there is actually a lovely cameo with Brendan Fraser right at the end, which is quite cool. But it's an indoor dark coaster, and yeah, a little anecdote here. I was in the queue. I went in the single rider queue. So single rider queues means if you're just on your own, you can just often skip a lot of the queue, and they just slot you into an empty spot. And I was slotted in to this front row and it was a mother a son. I believe it was a mother, a son, and I think it probably his aunt. Um, and they were all waiting. And then I think the son was a bit nervous. He was about, I would say, he was about 10ish, that sort of 10 to 11, that sort of age. It's hard to tell with kids sometimes, but yeah, and I'm rubbish at ages, but yeah, I'd say he was about that age, and he was nervous, obviously, with extreme rides. And so his mother said, "Oh, have you done this before to me?" And I said, "Yeah, I have." And she said, "Oh, what's it like?" And then I was like, and she said, "Oh, have you been to Disneyland Paris?" And I said, "Yeah, I have." And then she said, "Oh, what is it like anything there?" And I said, "Well, I said maybe Indiana Jones, but it doesn't have the inversion that Indiana Jones." I think Indiana Jones had an inversion, but I can't remember. But yeah, so and she said, "Oh, well, that's not too bad." And she said, "What about Big Thunder Mountain Railroad?" And I said, "It's more extreme than Big Thunder Mountain Railroad." And then immediately the son was like, "Oh, no, no, I don't want to go on it, don't want to go on it." And so the mother and the son, they just they decided they're not going to ride, so I quickly had to decide to get on quickly, and I got on with the aunt, and then they decided not to do it, and I said to her, "Oh, I think it's my fault, I I just said and then she said, "What did you say?" And I just told her what I said, and they said, "Oh, well, we'll enjoy it." And then we did, and at the end she said, "Oh yeah, that was really good." And I said, "Would he have liked it?" And she said no. So I think I did save a young lad from having a really bad experience, thankfully. You just feel bad, if you like stop someone going on a ride, did you say the right thing? Should you just let them have that experience or not? So yeah, I was very happy that I made the right decision there. But yeah, it was an amazing ride, and I got a T-shirt there actually. I will be going through all the merchandise at some point, but we've got various things in laundry and everything, washing a whole bunch of stuff, so I will do that on a later video. But yeah, so and then I'm trying to think. We were very, very chilled on this holiday because we didn't want to do too much, for my mum and dad and for us really, because we didn't want a really high intensity holiday when I've been suffering from my mental health issues. Alan needed to chill, so we had a good process of basically doing theme parks till about 1, 2 in the afternoon. Then we would go back to the hotel room, and then we would have a nap of about an hour or whatever, and I would do some diamond painting or gaming in the room just to chill out, and then we would go out again in the evening somewhere, either to dinner or to a theme park, and that just worked quite well for us, and I would highly, highly recommend that. I would highly, highly recommend that if you want to make your stay more endurable and more enjoyable as well, because I just feel that it's quite difficult to get all these things in. And if you do theme parks all day, like from dawn till dusk, it gets very, very exhausting. Now I know we're very lucky in England or in the United Kingdom that we get a holiday that we do, and I do recognise that in America the situation is very different, and then your style of holiday will be usually 3 to 4 days, including a weekend or a public holiday, and the 2-week holidays that we take are unheard of for you. So I do appreciate that you might need to do really intense or doing all the theme parks in the same on the same day, so it's all of a theme park, sorry. So I do appreciate that. But for us, we are able to take it at that more chilled pace, and if we're there for 2 weeks, then we might as well, try and be chilled about everything we are doing. And I am happy to say I got everything done that we wanted to get done, although I will say it is the busiest I've ever seen it. And yeah, it's the theme parks are incredibly busy. But yeah, I think the aftershot of COVID and everyone finally being able to go, there's no restrictions anymore. That it's just, I think last year was the busiest year, and I think this year is similarly busy. So I think it will calm down in years to come, but you can't rely on it being quiet or as manageable as it was. We didn't have any queue aids. We stayed in a cheaper hotel, so we didn't get the quick queue benefits. So in Universal, you can buy that option on top, or some hotels give it you for free, so you can just skip all the queues on all the big main attractions. It's better than the Disney option. I will talk about the Disney option at length in my Disney part of the holiday discussion. But yeah, so we just had to, get there early some days and do everything we could, etc. But so we had the nap. In Universal, we had the habit of having a bigger lunch in the theme parks because we didn't. The theme parks in Universal tend to close earlier, so we ate in Lombard's on the first day, which was very nice, like I said, and then we ate in a place called Mythos, which is in the Islands of Adventure Park. Now that is a restaurant that has, every time we go it says it's won Theme Park Insider Restaurant or Best Restaurant Award several years running. I'm not exactly sure if they're still winning it or if it's just from the previous time, because they do like to parade that on the front of their restaurant, which why shouldn't they, if they've earned that. And they just do amazing burgers and things, and it's just nice to have a sit down restaurant in the middle of the day. Yeah, so we didn't have as much of a meal in the evenings as we have at Disney, although we did have some. I think I'm trying to think. I think we ate at Olive Garden one night, which was absolutely fantastic. Oh my god, the restaurant's absolutely huge. To imagine how much money they must take in when it's busy was just incredible, because it was just like, it had wings. It was like a mansion in size. It was just so big, and I just love the way they theme these American chain restaurants. They're all very not much to look at on the outside, but absolutely stunning, beautiful, and romantic on the inside. Obviously, sometimes lovely brickwork and lovely theming. They just work really, really hard at making it look nice. But yeah. So, sorry, I just missed some freeze there. I'll just fill in. So, just trying to think what to say. So the second day we did Universal Islands of Adventure. Now on this day we got up early and got there for theme park opening. Well, we were able to go in early, have access the early perk, and even then there was massive queues. And mine and Alan's intention was that we were going to ride Hagrid's roller coaster ride, and we got there right for early access opening. We walked with all the crowds, got into each different bit of the park, and then we were still not there early enough. We got on the queue to ride, and I think we must have been queuing for about an hour. I must have to say that's probably the most traumatic queuing experience I've had in the whole holiday. It was just very, I don't know, for me with my ADHD symptoms and everything, I struggle to distract myself from stuff, and I get overwhelmed and I just get frustrated. And it was a very slow moving queue, and there wasn't much theming that was interesting. There's sometimes they have little scenes and little things to read, in the theming and everything, which makes it just a bit more endurable. But I just didn't feel that they did have many of this stuff, so yeah, it was a bit frustrating experience. But we did meet a lovely American couple in front of us, and he'd ridden it years ago, and we just got chatting to them about stuff, so yeah. But and that's the thing, you meet all these people in the queues sometimes, and sometimes I feel more comfortable talking to people then. I don't know why, but no, because obviously Sarah will tell you that I often get her to talk to people rather than me. I don't often like to be the first person to walk in a restaurant. I just get scared. But yeah, so we rode that ride, and Alan enjoyed it, but he said it was at or slightly beyond his limits. But we did enjoy it, and then we came out. My mum and dad were exploring Hogsmeade. We all had a butterbeer, which was absolutely amazing. Gutted I didn't get to have a second one, but oh god, it's such a nice drink. And the only way I can describe it, it's just it's a very sweet drink, very sweet. Nothing like normal beer, because it's not alcoholic for one thing. It has this beautiful sweet foamy top to it that they squirt on the top. Yeah, and it's just an amazing drink, which I cannot describe right now. But I insist you try one, if you can. I think you might be able to try it at the the Harry Potter studio tour, the Warner Brothers studio tour in just on the outskirts of London at the studio. But yeah, so we persuaded my mum and dad to go on the Forbidden Journey, and they did enjoy it. I mean, it was a little extreme for my mum, but it's okay. But we just didn't feel that one was very extreme. We wanted them to be able to experience something of Harry Potter, and so they enjoyed it. They didn't go on the other ride, the one in the original park, the Diagon Alley Gringotts ride, because we just felt that would be too extreme. We did go on it, and we agreed between ourselves that it was too much for my mum, so we didn't do that one. Me and Alan did it, but my mum and dad didn't. So yeah, the the Gringotts ride is very cool, but it's basically involves a plot around like when Harry and Ron and everyone break into Gringotts to get the Horcrux, and it's just it's at the same time that happened. There's other scenes going on with Voldemort and Bellatrix and everything, and it's quite, and they bring in like Ron's brother, who is it Bill? I think I'm rubbish with remembering names, but yeah, the one that looks after dragons. Somehow they bring him into it. I don't really understand, but anyway, because he works with dragons and stuff. So, but yeah, and it's a quite more intense coaster with interjections of like some scenes that you witness, like I said, with those characters. So yeah, that was a very cool ride. But the Forbidden Journey, which is the original Harry Potter ride in the Islands of Adventure, that involves just, I think Hermione makes you fly, and then you just fly around through a lot of story, including the Quidditch pitch around Hogwarts and everything, and through the Forbidden Forest. There's a scary bit with spiders, which I don't like, which I shut my eyes for. But yeah, so it's very, very enjoyable, and it's not too intense. So yeah, I think it was on the edge of my mum's tolerance, but she was glad she did it. But yeah, so then just trying to think. The Islands of Adventure Day was more intense day, and I did some stuff like I did the Velocicoaster. We never got to do the River Adventure because no one wanted to do it because it's a water ride. I do enjoy it, but this is another Jurassic Park ride. But yeah, Velocicoaster was great. I loved that. It was just a fantastic, intense roller coaster with, like, I can't remember. I heard there might be 9 inversions, but I can't remember if that was right. But there's a lot, but I had to do that one on my own because Alan didn't want to do it. He doesn't do intense stuff like that, so I often do these things on my own. And they don't always have. A lot of them have done away with single riders as well, so it's a bit difficult. But I think there was a single rider queue for that, but even the single rider queue was quite busy. But yeah. But no, I enjoyed it, and I love being able to do the intense rides, even if it is on my own, because I still enjoy them. And then I get to do the ride, and there's other ones I can do with my family, so yeah, so it's nice. Me and Alan did Kong, which is a simulator again, and I think we did a bunch of Zeus stuff, in Zeus Landing, which is based on the works of Dr. Zeus, which is, we did the Cat in the Hat ride, which is very lovely, and we did the what other ride did we do? And then we did like a train that went round and then told the story of the Sneetches with the stars. Well, some have stars on the belly, some don't, and that sort of thing. So it was just an interesting, lovely day, lovely second day, So somewhere in there, we ate at this chocolate factory place, which I can only say is like Willy Wonka, but on steroids, probably. It's just a lot of good food, and you could eat there as well. So I think we had lunch there. We wanted to have an evening meal there, but it was so busy there was no bookings in the evening. So yeah, so we had lunch there, and then we had a burger, and I had the most ridiculous milkshake. There was an oat milk, like a gluten-free oat milk, free everything, milkshake there. So I just had to have it because I love milkshakes, but they don't love me, because I do have a lactose intolerance, so I have oat milk in everything. Yeah, but oh my god, this milkshake, it had a cake on top of it. And I've got a picture which I'll put up as I'm putting pictures up between, but oh my god, yeah, this cake was amazing, and the milkshake was amazing as well, and then there was decadent chocolate desserts, but absolutely, we were all trying to save ourselves the desserts as well. So yeah, but I think somewhere in those 3 days we did, me, Alan and Dad did the Minions ride because we thought it might be too much for Mum. But he really enjoyed it. It's like another simulator. We all inexplicably did this shooting ride, which was another Minion themed one. And where you had a wireless gun, and then you shot things, and you got a score at the end, So yeah, just a nice bit of fun, and yeah, I think we rode E.T. again because my mum wanted to, because she loved it so much, and yeah. bought a little bit of merchandise, and then before we moved on to Disney. And that will be in the next part. But yeah, like I said, I'll do videos for the merchandise and everything. And I will be doing a follow-up video where I do either part or all of Disney. I don't know how much I'll get done in one video, but yeah, weather was fantastic. Very, very hot, literally factor 50 in every day. You know, still worried, you know, if I burn after that, you know, I think I'm okay, but I've got a little bit dark, but not anything major because we're so diligent with our suntan lotion. But yeah, so got a little bit of this one done, you know, so got about 3 or 4 colours done, so that's quite cool. I'll just continue with this. And I might be working on one of these in my next video, so we'll see, but I want to get back to magical potions as soon as I can. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and it gave you some insights into Disney and Universal. I will go over the perks of staying on property in Universal and Disney at some point, but I'm not going to do that today because I just don't want this to be too long a video. Okay, so if you like this video, please consider giving it the thumbs up as it makes it more visible to more people. And if you like my content in general, please consider hitting the subscribe button if you haven't done already and joining my little family of subscribers. I also have the Facebook group, which will pop up at the end of the video, and I'll also link down below. And as always, bye for now!